I'm the laziest dealer of the bazaar. Most of the time, I just sit outside and I let the clients plunder by themselves. And I don't talk much. I give them, as dealer, I'm supposed to give them my long dealer bullshit, which every dealer has. But I wrote my bullshit, it's 16 pages. I give them this, tell to people, you don't have to buy anything, but you have to create a mess. I like when the shop has a chaos. I can never sell those unless people buy. It is art. You cannot convince someone to buy. The kilim has to catch them. They have to find the right DNA, not the most beautiful one. People bring kilim from their home with the hope to get $10,000 for it, and I don't pay $1. They say, you have the same on the wall. I say, it is same pattern. I buy them for the colors. Then they ask, which color? The kilim you love and the kilim you hate might be both same colors. If it would be possible to describe colors, there would be no art of painting. People never left this shop with the kilim they were looking for, even when they found it. They always left with something else. But still they want me to spend some time with them, talk about kilims, tell what kilim is. And mostly what they ask is mostly the wrong questions, and there's no right answer for the wrong question. So I don't tell them what really kilim is. Most of my time I spend to tell them what kilim is not. Because people come here with so much urban legend. In the market they learn so many things about kilims, natural dyes, symbolism. Symbolism is the biggest field, the biggest urban legend. All those symbols, none of them have a meaning. Those are kilims from 1970s, 60s. People have woven them at home without any commercial design, traditional symbols, but no meaning. All those, not only those cheap books, those scientific papers, they have no reference. They had a meaning in the ancient time. They are woven since 4,000 years. They had a meaning when they were woven for the upper class, for the pharaoh, for the Roman, Greek, or European aristocrats, or for the Iranian kings. And you could see the symbols, what they were. A symbol has 3 stages. First, what is it, the shape? Is it a bird? Is it a tree? Is it a woman? Second thing, which bird? Which tree? Which particular woman? Third, the meaning. So Anatolian kilims, you can even not tell, is it a tree? Is it a woman or is it a bird? So they had meaning when they belonged to the upper class, to people who could express themselves freely and who had to express themselves and impose a power. But kilim is a journey between social classes, not only horizontally all over the world. They went from Roman kings from Phrygian to the bourgeois of Europe. Then with capitalism they were left to the villagers. So with time they lost meaning. When I tell this to people, they get disappointed because they want that they all have a meaning. But this is when they become art. The painter of the Renaissance, let's say you're the king, I'm the painter. I'm not an artist, I'm a photographer. People talk about you, not me, when they see a portrait. Just when I start painting the peasant, the fisherman or the fish, I become artist, when it's abstract. So a symbol, when, let's say post office, a sign saying to the post office, you read and go, you don't think post office. But if instead of writing post office, if it's an envelope, which nobody uses anymore, you think, envelope, letter, post office, you think one stage more. What if it's a pigeon? Pigeon, peas, pigeon, letters. So the more abstract is the symbol, the more it makes you think. And this is the nice part of the last 300 years of kilim. When we talk about kilims, you can say, what this guy, he talks so much about kilims and gets so many different things out of it, which is irrelated. But kilim has nothing to do with kilim, but with everything else. It has a neurological aspect, historical aspect, economical aspect. When you want to study the symbolism, just follow money, you end up somewhere. But to study wool, cotton, this and that brings you nowhere. Is textile only. And nobody buys textile. Even your underwear, you choose which color. So nobody buys textile just for textile. Some kilims I give names of mostly painters or authors. The one on the wall is Franz Kafka. I have Dostoevsky, Frida Kahlo. I have the bedroom of Vincent van Gogh. I would never believe I would find a Caravaggio in kilims. Caravaggio used many shadows, shades. And how can you have shadow on a kilim? This is my Caravaggio. And my friends, when they see my home for the first time, they get disappointed. They expect to see the finest kilims of earth, very special, the biggest, the finest, and they say stripes, blue, orange, black, white stripes. It takes them about 40 minutes to find out why. Because at the first place, I don't buy any beautiful kilim. I don't buy big kilims. Bigger is the kilim, less is the value, the artistic value. Beauty is perfect, so it is boring. Art is minus, art is less than beauty, but the longer you look, it develops. When I talk like this, my friends, they like to listen as sweet bullshit until I prove it right. They ask, how can I tell the difference between art and commodity? They make paintings with computer, sells better than real art. If you buy right away. When you look longer than 5 minutes, you lose your lust. There's no story. So you make this artists, they have a trick today. Like, art is a social performance. It's not made by the artist. Half is made by the artist, the other half by the observer. You never get exactly what the artist expresses. On a painting, we all get different impressions. So we produce the half as observer. So if you randomly make something with computer, someone will find something out of it, but it will not grow because it's self-satisfactory brain work by the observer. The object has nothing, has no pattern. So you have to look at a painting or a kilim longer than 5 minutes. And how does that happen? There are 48 columns on the street. My brain doesn't store 48 different spots. It says one column multiply 48. And they're all different. It says 48 different columns. Memory is lazy, doesn't waste space. Memory doesn't like change. But we have an opposite motive, curiosity. Curiosity says, give me something I don't have. Art is not an exclamation, it's a question. Is something we don't know, something provoking, and it doesn't match. So far, it sounds like dodgy, but we all have a smartphone. If you take the picture of a kilim you love, or a painting, your most favorite painting, with your smartphone, you take a picture, the image on your phone is much more beautiful than the $30 million painting. It's supposed to be the other way, yes? No, the image on your phone is much more beautiful because your phone doesn't store the image. Your phone first defines the image. It looks for sine waves in it, for triangles, for rectangles. To store the formula of a pattern is much easier than 500,000 bytes. In order to do that, it simplifies. So this is also the magic of commercials. Commercials should be done by artists, but shouldn't be art, because you want everyone to understand. It must be, you have to cut the details, then you have something beautiful. Miss Turkey is the average on the street. Now you'll ask, what the heck does it have to do with evolution? There is the evolution of kilim, but there's also our evolution as human, our biological evolution. There is this mid-school lesson, the theory of Hikmet. When we are an embryo, we repeat our evolution history. To become human embryo, first we have to be fish embryo, then we have to be reptile embryo, rodent embryo, hominid embryo, until we become human embryo. We repeat our evolution history biologically. But also when we observe the other sex, as men, when I see a woman, in few seconds, we look at the other person's, is the other person healthy? First stage. Like 150 million years ago, we were rodents. Are the teeth good? We look at good teeth, physical health. But then that's not enough. Like 10 million years ago, we were using our hands. We look at hands, talent, because the one who used the hands survived. Then we look at mind. The Homo sapiens won against Neanderthal, was not physically as strong as the Neanderthal, but had better mind, could store food, could remember, could mark, could communicate. Then we look at intellect. Intellect is not mind, is not to have knowledge, is to create knowledge, from experience. So when you look at the handmade furniture, at a kilim, at a piece of art, first you're impressed by the material, the flesh. A building, you look at a mosque, the stone, the granite or whatever, a wooden house, the material. Then you look at how nicely it is built, the talent, then the architecture, This is all knowledge, human culture, but that architect made something special, different than every other mosque, every other temple. That coffee table has all the symbols, traditional symbols, but there's some improvisation, the highest stage of sexual selection, intellect, improvisation, art. When you look at the kilim, you're not aware, but we don't have different brain parts to choose a sex partner, to buy a car, to buy shoes, and to buy a kilim. So we have to use the same patterns, where on the end of the road it diverges, but on the beginning you follow the same steps when you look at the kilim. So when after you see a kilim with weird colors, asymmetric design, and lots of improvisation, you cannot buy anymore that handmade carpet which looks perfectly machine made, because you're at the last stage of your evolution.